Hey guys, it's Teacher Dad. I didn't get a video uploaded last week because we had a spring break at our school where I teach and ended up going to Canada, and hence what my content will be about this week. We were actually making maple syrup, and so I have a video that I'll be showing you all the various steps of how that all works, and from collecting the sap from the trees to boiling down the sap, boiling the water off of the sap, and then finally getting it down to the syrup itself, how you test and make sure that the syrup is the right consistency, and then finally filtering out any of the bark or the sand that sometimes gets in the bottom, the sap sand.
So when you're collecting sap from your backyard, you probably only have a few trees. My in-laws have about 15 trees, and they're tapped with a little spigot that gets screwed into the tree. And then the best sap running is when you have a cold night and it warms up a little bit more during the day. While we were there, we actually had a really cold day, and some of the sap actually froze in the buckets, so we didn't get to collect as much as we would have otherwise been able to. Once the sap is collected, it's placed into a larger container where it can be stored until it's ready to be boiled down. At my in-laws, they just use a propane canister with a burner and a large pot to boil down the sap. Sometimes during the boiling process, you do need to scoop off excess foam that comes to the top. Sometimes this does have some dirt or bark that might have gotten into the sap. And basically what you're doing is you're boiling off the excess water from the sap, trying to condense that down into syrup. So since water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, once you get a little bit closer to a consistency that looks like syrup, you can start monitoring the temperature. Syrup boils at around 220 degrees Fahrenheit, so once you see pretty close to this temperature on the scale, you can take it off the heat and prepare to test it using the hydrometer. The hydrometer has both a hot and a cold setting, so depending upon how long it takes to transfer the liquid over, you may not be exactly right on the line. As I mentioned earlier, you need to filter the syrup. This removes any dirt particles that may have collected, as well as some sandy particles that will settle down to the bottom of the syrup. It is a rather lengthy process, which is why syrup costs as much as it does. It took us about 2 days of boiling, and we ended up with a little over 2.5 quarts of syrup.
Hopefully you like this video and enjoy this. I have a couple more videos coming up in a few weeks, and one of those is I'm currently using my new Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus to do this recording, and I'm going to be doing a couple videos perhaps on that content, some of the things that I am doing with that. So a couple of those videos that you'll be looking forward to coming out in the next couple of weeks, and other than that, have a great one. We'll see you again next time.